Here he is. He scored the OT winner last night. He's got a 5-goal lead on the Rocket race in the NHL. Here's Auston Matthews. Are we assuming you're a Cardinals fan? Is that going out on a limb or what?
No, I am. I do root for them. There really hasn't been a whole lot to root for over the last little while, but I think ever since they got Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins, J.J. Watt now, I think they're definitely building a contender. So they've been really fun to watch over the last 2 years.
Yeah, they're moving in the right direction. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And staying with your hometown, we were talking about TPC, the golf tournament, the players is going on right now down at Sawgrass, which I would say is probably the most famous TPC, and the second most famous would probably be Scottsdale, which would be your neck of the woods. Have you played there? If so, what kind of numbers are you putting up?
Yeah, I played there quite a bit actually. So there's actually TPC, the stadium course, and then right across the street there's this the TPC Champions course. So I actually enjoyed the Champions course a little bit more than stadium, but they're right next to each other, and I play both of them quite a bit, but I'm not exactly posting the kinds of numbers you'd watch when you're watching those guys play the Waste Management on TV.
Auston, it was quite an ending to the game last night. Can you kind of take us through your goal? I mean, you seemed like you were on your last legs there. Shifley was coming at you. Everybody was raving about the backhand goal. Just take us through what was going down last night in overtime.
Yeah, just a whole lot of chaos. Mo breaks the stick. Me and Mitchie.
What were you and Mitchie doing in front of the net? Were you guys like talking?
I don't know. He was on his knees and like waving the stick around, and I was like behind him, and I was like trying to take the back door. I think Wheeler was back door, and then he made a really nice play. Like I think he intercepted the pass, and then he just like sent it out of the zone because we were sitting there like 3-on-2, 2 forwards. And then Mo went and got a stick. He came back, and then, I don't know, everybody was so gassed, and I just tried to get up the ice, and Mo made a really nice pass to me, and I don't know, it all just happened really fast, and just made a little, tried to sell shot and find some space in the backhand.
The best part about it, Auston, is after Mitch broke up the play, he turned immediately and started yelling at the ref about the slash on the broken stick still. He was still complaining about the non-call as you went in and scored the game winner. And you talked about kind of being out of gas. You play a ton of minutes, as does Mitch, in this compressed season. Have you found any games or any days where you're like, I'm tired today? Where, the body just, because you play so much and so frequently?
I've actually felt really, really good this year. Even with, the increased ice time. I mean, there's always days and games where, maybe you don't feel exactly like, great, or you don't have the same energy. But for the most part, I think this year I've been recovering really well. And, even with the increased minutes, the day after games and stuff like that, I haven't really been too fatigued.
With Auston Matthews, we've discussed a lot on this show about Sheldon Keefe and his style behind the bench. And obviously you compare it in contrast to Mike Babcock, who was here for a while. And Babcock would, generally speaking, stick to a lineup. Like he'd put together a lineup and stick to it. Feels like Keefe will pull the blender out like all the time. Like you really have no idea who you're going out there with, and you've played shifts and extended times throughout individual games with a variety of different players. It seems to be working for you, but how do you think that's benefited your team? The ability to mix and match and play with all types of different players.
Yeah, I think he's got a really good sense. I think of where the game's going, and I think he makes really good adjustments. So, maybe one mind's not really clicking, and or one guy on one mind's not clicking, or he doesn't have his legs. And I think he's just really good at reading the game and making adjustments. And I think he always come in with the game plan. He always come in with a lineup, but if it's not working out, I think he's obviously shown that he's not afraid to mix up lines and move people around to see if he can spark something or just generate something new and something different. So I think all of us appreciate that, and I don't mind it at all. Playing with different guys or just depending on how the game's going. But yeah, I think he does a really good job of making in-game adjustments and not really, being too stuck on what, originally he had the lineup looking like or the game plan itself.
Auston, one adjustment he could not make was taking Connor Hellebuck out of the net in the last couple of games. Like, there's not many goalies that give you personally trouble, or even the Leafs for that matter. But, what's the conversation like when he's doing what he's done the last couple of games, just standing on his head, before you guys finally broke through?
Yeah, he's played really well over the 2 games this week. I mean, he's made some incredible saves, and not just saves that he typically make, but like some really highlight reel saves. And he's definitely kept him in the game and made some. I thought we could have had a couple goals and maybe created separation last night, and he was a brick wall. But I think the message really is just to try to get in and around the net and make it harder on him, so he's not seeing the puck as well as he'd like. Because any top goalie you play, if they're seeing the puck and there's not guys at the net and guys screening him and rebounds and traffic, then it really just makes their job easier. So I thought we did a really good job, especially I think in the second and third period, of getting more around the net and creating more havoc.
The other day, the first game against the Jets in the pregame show, we had some close-ups of your new skates, and it was like custom. I think it had the skyline of the city of Toronto, and I know currently you're into the sneaker game, and you probably always have been. How cool was that to design that, and does it go any further from there?
Yeah, it was really cool for me. I mean, I was super excited about it, and I was really, really excited how they turned out. I think it's probably the last year or so I've been kind of working on it, I guess, or kind of getting the wheels turning. But I definitely think it's the start for it for sure. I think I'd like to definitely do more pairs like that, but different as well. But I think the Toronto blue and the skyline and everything, and kind of little history to go along with the skate for a first custom skate, I think it's it turned out really cool, and I was super excited about it.
Chatting with Auston Matthews, we had Mark Scheifele on earlier this week, and he admitted he's a bit of a stick freak. Like, he's always thinking about what kind of stick he wants, working on his curve, working on the length of it all. Obviously, you're a premium goal scorer. How would you define your obsession with your own stick?
Yeah, I'd put it pretty high up there. Me and Spets are always in the stick room talking about guys' curves.
Well, what are you doing in there? They all come the same. They're all ready made for you. What are you doing in there to those things? I don't get it.
Yeah, but they're all different. The balance of it, the feel, the stiffness, everything. There's so much that goes into it, and I feel so much they can change. And I don't know. I feel like I'm glad I'm not the only one that is always like Spets has been playing in the league for however long he's been playing in the league, and he still hasn't found the perfect stick. So
he never will.
And he never will. And so I don't know if I'm on his level quite yet, but I'm definitely always looking and trying, I guess, new stuff and new things. I don't mind, but yeah, I don't think I'm quite on Spets' level. But if he's been playing a league for as long as he's had and he hasn't found the perfect stick, then I think it's something that you just have to accept.
We obviously noticed, I think the hockey world noticed, yourself and Connor McDavid down in Arizona during the offseason, you guys working out together. And we've been discussing on the show, what you guys can pick up from each other. You probably aren't thinking you're going to skate like him. He's probably thinking he's not going to shoot like you. But are there anything you could learn, or anything you did learn from working out with McDavid that you've applied this season?
I don't know. I don't know if it's anything really case specific. I just think it's little conversations here and there, when you're on the ice and kind of seeing the spaces and routes that he takes, and he puts himself in different positions. I think that's just kind of things that you maybe pay attention to that you can learn from. I'm not sure it's really a sit down or they're like, hey, like, how do you skate this fast? Like, can you teach me? Like, I don't, like you said, it's not just going to, like, happen like that. I think it's just probably more so little things. And he does obviously a lot of big things and little things so well, and that's what makes him so good. So, I think that's just the whole experience itself, and, not just him, but having other guys down there too that are really good players. Just the competitiveness and us just pushing each other out there, and I think just preparing for a season that, we didn't really know when was going to start. So it was definitely a lot of fun, though.
Well, it kind of feels like Phoenix and Arizona could be developing as somewhat of a hockey hub in a way. Toronto's been that forever during the offseason. Kelowna's big out west. How much pride would you take in that being your hometown? You're kind of the face of hockey down there. If it develops into somewhat of a hockey hub during the offseason?
Yeah, I don't know if I think it just kind of worked out this year because of the timing and the time of the year it was down there. I'm not sure, it's going to be easy to convince a lot of guys to come down when it's like 110 degrees outside. So I'm not sure, but I definitely think like that the timing of it and everything just worked out really well. The weather was amazing. There was activities that you could do, golf, tennis, outdoors, outdoor restaurants and stuff. So definitely probably a little bit more open than like what it was like here in the summertime or elsewhere. So I think that's what was really attractive, I guess, about coming down, along with the weather and I guess everything else it had to offer.
Yeah, you want no part of Arizona in August. Like, that is a gross, hot.
No.
And insufferable. You got to be done by 7 a.m. Too early, too hot. Now, would you find, though, after working with or training alongside Connor, like, are you watching, you pay more attention to the other teams around the north and watching what he's doing and paying attention to whatever points he's putting up or how the games are going, standings? Like, how closely are you following what's going on in the north versus do you even pay attention to what's going on down south?
Yeah, I think you probably pay more attention to like our division specifically, just because we're only playing our division. But I like to keep track on like everything. I'll watch other teams or keep track of other teams that aren't in the North Division or players or whatever. But I definitely think this year probably more than others, depending on what division you're playing, you're probably, for the most part, focusing on those teams and the players that you're playing against in that particular division.
Do you just do the old, I just focus on one shift at a time, or the Rocket Richard ever enter your thoughts, or Hart Trophy, big picture type stuff, or you just try to help your team win games every night?
I mean, I think I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about it or it didn't cross my mind, but I just don't really think that's like something I like truly really like focus on. Like when I'm out there, like before a game or on the ice, I'm not thinking like, oh, I need to win the Rocket Richard, like I need to score. Like I'm out there obviously trying to score, but I'm out there trying to help the team win and doing more than just scoring. So I think, of course, that stuff's going to cross your mind every once in a while, but in the end, we really want to do something special here. We really want to win. I really want to win. I think every single guy in the room does. And, I think the individual stuff, definitely comes second behind the team.
With Auston Matthews, a lot has been made of, obviously, the guys you brought in, guys like Thornton and Simmons and Bogosian, like gritty kind of veterans and guys who have been around for a while, big personalities as well. I mean, how would you define the noise in the room and what it's like to show up at the rink on a daily basis, especially considering you guys are playing so well and winning so many games?
Yeah, the energy's been really great, and like bringing in those guys, like Jumbo's loud, like they all talk a lot, but like Jumbo's just like loud, and he's always buzzing, and he's always getting everybody laughing, and I don't know, I think just the energy in the locker room and has just been really, really good this year. I think it's led to success on the ice with everybody, and we've always had really tight teams in my 4 years here. Everybody's always gotten along really, really well, and been extremely close. But I just feel like this year even more so. So I think that's a real positive for our group, definitely.
Has Jumbo done anything where you're like, that guy's an old man? Like, does he pull into the parking lot in a minivan or something? So tell me something. Tell me one thing where you're like, that guy's old.
No, he pulls up in a Porsche. It's pretty nice.
That'll work. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head, but like he's just funny. Like he's just always fun to be around, and yeah. I mean, I can't say enough like great things about him. Like he's a legend, and you know, having him around every day in the locker room, like you never know what to expect. Like you never know what you're gonna get. Like he's always got something, and it's usually pretty funny.
Has he got a nickname for you yet? Apparently he's the nickname Maestro from Willie to Fredzilla to all the rest of it. What's got anything for you yet?
Yeah. No, he just calls me Matty, I think. But he's come up with some really good ones, not just for players like on the team, but even for like staff members. Like he's given some staff members some pretty good nicknames too. Yeah, but like I said, he just always has something on the go. Like it's just he's always thinking like. And he's so loud, and everybody, like, the minute he starts talking, it's like people just start filtering in because, like, they can hear him from the other side of the room, and they're like, all right, what's this guy got to say today?
That's been his reputation, man. Like
that's important.
20 years.
Everyone
it's
said
amazing. It's amazing.
Well, listen.
It's so fun.
You guys are rolling, too, right? That probably helps, as always. I mean, that's not news to you. But continued success. I mean, obviously a beauty last night, 21 goals in the season. You guys are in a pretty good spot, and we always appreciate you finding time for us. We'll do it again down the road. Thank you, Auston.
Yeah, thank you.